It's Wednesday, folks, and it's time for... Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's a Wednesday evening, and it is the Tardis Zone Talks. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that did join us for our stream last night. It was absolutely fantastic. Everybody really enjoyed it, and I'm glad we decided to stick with the New Who watch-alongs. We will continue our New Who watch-alongs every Sunday. And we will have our Classic Who watch-alongs every Saturday here on the Tardis Zone. But tonight, guys, it's all about you. You guys get to come on and chat about whatever you really want to. It's got to do with pop culture, of course. Obviously, because it is a Doctor Who channel, most of the conversation does revolve around that, but doesn't necessarily have to be Doctor Who, as you know. So, welcome, and let's hope for a good evening tonight. No drama, hopefully. That's what we want, and that's what we like on this channel. No drama, no matter what they say out there. The truth of the matter is, I don't want any drama. I just want to be able to do what we do here and give you guys a voice. So as I said, Wednesday nights, Friday nights is your night, guys. This is where you come on. You get to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And without further ado, I'm not going to mess around tonight. I'm going to put the link straight in. There you go. So the link is in the chat. And just want to say, last night's stream, I'm still buzzing, actually, after last night. It was absolutely fantastic. There's a false rhetoric out there, obviously, about this channel, false narrative, and it's always good when we do streams like this and we prove the haters wrong, and that's what we like to do. So if you want to come on tonight, have your say, talk about whatever. I'll give you about 10. It all depends how many we actually get in, obviously, and the more that we get in, the merrier, and then we'll figure out how much time to give you all. But what I'm going to do is, while we're waiting on the studio to fill up, I'm going to bring the guy who's going to be backstage in the studio, making sure that the people that do come on have been verified, because obviously over the last recent weeks and months, we have had trolls try to take down the streams. So we have put some safeguards in place, but I would like to welcome Lee.
Hello.
How are you?
I's all right. How's yous?
I'm good.
Excellent as it is.
I'm good.
Good.
Well, what's the story anyway? What have you been up to today?
I've been in a kind of awakened sleep.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know. I think after all the energy and everything I focused in that day, the other day, making that mental as track, I just
taking a lot out
my
of you.
mojo just fucked off somewhere. So I've just kind of been in a bit of a daze and just not really done anything. I got so much to do. It's kind of like need to breathe.
That's it. As I said, the link is in the chat. Remember, you have to verify obviously who you are before we can bring you on. But as I said, I will throw the link in every couple of minutes or so, just to see. Usually the first person actually come on. It does be Charlotte and stuff, Daniel, but I must have started a little bit too early, did I? Well, anyway, we're here. Is there anything actually you would like to bring up before you go back into the studio there? And
not really, just to kind of reiterate what you said earlier. It was a really great stream, and it was good fun. We only had a couple of incidents, I believe. I think that was good. Maybe we've gotten through, and like, you know, look, you can disagree all you like, but you're not going to change anybody's minds. All good. So well done, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yeah, at the end of the day, right, I didn't do this for anything else other than the fact that we love this story, and it was such a shame that the tweet along was ruined. And let's be honest, it was ruined by a few out there. It wasn't the majority of the fandom.
Well, that's it. It's always the vocal minority who fuck it for everyone else. And, you know, I hope they're proud of themselves. I really do. Well done. You screwed it for everyone globally. Nice one.
No, Daniel and Charlotte are not here, Jack. I'm just saying, normally when I start these, Charlotte is the first one in, but she's not here yet. So you're first, because you're here first.
That's the first. So, he's usually last, isn't he?
Yeah, so Jack is usually last. So Jack will be first today. So that'll be fantastic. But I know Daniel probably won't come on because he's still a bit, and that's fine. We had a bit of a chat earlier on, so that's good. Everything is, you know, like everybody else. This pandemic is just getting everybody to get into everybody. But as I said to Daniel earlier on, you know, just to let you know, myself and Charlotte are here for you, as we said. So if you do need to talk, you know, if
we all are.
I know Charlotte does be there for you, but as we said, if she happens to be not available, you always know you can come to myself and Charlotte, myself and Cheryl. So you don't just have Charlotte there. You have a lot of friends that care about you. So that's the point I'm just trying to make, really. I better show up now before I say anything else. I'll tell you, madness. So there's nothing you really want to, I mean, let me see, what was there? Well, Tiger Woods seems to be, I know this is not related, but Tiger Woods seems to, you know, he had an operation on his leg and stuff, and he's in recovery. So hopefully the GOAT gets back, but there's a lot of people questioning whether he'll be able to come back from this one, and they could be right this time.
Look, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. He can afford the best healthcare there is, and you know, more often than not, if you've got the will, you can pull through.
He definitely has. I mean, 4 back operations. Even some pro golfers were saying, even after the first or second one, they probably would have called it quits, and he didn't. He always believed he could get back.
Well, he seems the sort to, you know, not take no for an answer. So, you know, let's see.
And I'm glad he won that major last year when he came back. That was a good comeback. That's what legends are made of. You don't win a title for fucking donkey's years and then you come back and you pull something off like that. That's the GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT. So I wish him the best, you know, because he has, look, no matter what he's done in his personal life, he's had incident after incident with his back and whatever. And he's been plagued by these problems for years.
No,
for this to happen must be a right kick in the guts for him, because, you know, he was starting to, you know, well, there was a chance that he mightn't have even made the Masters this year, but he would have tried. You know, that's what the GOAT does. But I wish him the best. I hope he get well soon. And I think that's all I need to say about that. But what else have we got? See, I'm still trying to talk, because we've got 33 people watching right now. But I'm just waiting until we get a few more people in the studio. So again, I'm trying to.
Well, why don't you type in, I don't know, Doctor Who News and see what pops up? I haven't heard anything. It's been very quiet.
No, I haven't heard that myself. Do you know? I don't really fucking give a crap, to be honest. I don't, unless I get source news, I don't really give a crap, because it'll be stupid. Let me see. I'll just.
Conversation bullshit.
Yeah, I bet you it'll be all screen rant.
Yeah.
Hold on, Doctor Who.
Slow news days.
Let's see. Yeah, they'll come up with some.
bullshit.
Yeah, crap.
Clickbait.
You see. Yeah, so The Sun 6 hours ago. Who will be the next Doctor Who? From Chris Marshall to Michaela Coulson.
Yeah.
Basically rehashing the same news.
Yeah.
Listen to radiotimes.com Doctor Who podcast. The future of. Hold on. The future of. Let's see. It's a bit slow, me phone. Just bear with me for a second, folks.
Oh, it's excruciating.
Jesus.
Doctor,
the future of historical episodes. So the Radio Times has done a whole podcast on the future of historical yokes, but I did see something from the Radio Times there. Hold on. So the Radio Times has highlighted Emily Cook's Master Trilogy watch along party confirmed. So I suppose she's going to go out on a high. She's got the Radio Times backing her up now. She should get the audience for that. She's put a lot of hard work in, but I have to say I'm pretty disgusted by a vocal minority. And the thing is, Lee, we know some of them, and they're vile people. I mean, they've went after this fandom and made disgusting, slanderous allegations. Absolutely ridiculous that these vocal minority are the ones that get to dictate what fans can watch.
Are we surprised? Yeah, this is the thing. They seem to think that they own it now. No, it's for everybody. If you can't get to grips with that, and yeah, it's also for people coincidentally that you might not like. Deal with it. The world is a massive place. The UK itself, not a big place, but 500 odd miles. It's gonna have a lot of people in there. 60 odd million people. Not everyone you're gonna get on with. It's for them as well. Deal with it. Get over yourselves. Just breathe. Allow people
to enjoy what they want to enjoy. Exactly. Just allow people to enjoy what they want to enjoy.
It's not difficult. You might not like it. You might not like it. You might want to find fault with absolutely fucking everything. But that's your issue. And to be offended by something is a choice. Okay? It's how you emotionally respond to that shows the level of maturity that you are at. If you get so offended that you have to ruin it for everybody else, I'm afraid the issue lies with you. Exactly. And again, I have to reiterate, you've got to be able to separate art from the artist. It was an ensemble thing that he only wrote it, but you have to think that there was production crew, editors, film editors, the actors, everything. All of that. You're denying all of those people's hard work because you don't like what the writer has said in his personal beliefs. Look, I don't necessarily agree with everybody's personal beliefs. That would be fucking weird. I might disagree with a lot of things that people say, and I might agree with a lot of things people say that you might not agree with, or or someone of one of these groups that apparently we, all have to fall in line with. Tough. Life is hard. It's hard. It's a bitch. Get over it. Move through it. Power through it. You're better than this. You're better than sink into this. Oh, woe is me. Everyone fucking hates me and my group, even though groups are a fiction. There is only individuals. Just put this nonsense aside, get a life, move on, grow up, and, otherwise life is going to kick you hard in the ass. It'll take you time to get used to it, believe you me, but it's a reality check and it takes time. But, don't try and fuck it up for everyone else because someone said something a bit salty on Twitter. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Seriously, how does that affect you personally? It doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah. Well, we got two people waiting in the studio. So we got Jack, we got Charlotte. So if anybody else wants to judge, remember this shot. Basically, I stay on for as long as people come on, and if we've only got two people coming on, well, then that'll be the end of the show. That's the way it goes. So if you really want to come on, this is I'll put the link in again. Please do come on. Even if you've never come on before, come on, have a bit of a chat. You know, that's what we're here for. It's you guys take center stage. We do have a lot of different opinions on this channel, believe it or not, even though we all well, it's individuality, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with you about a lot of things about Gina Carano.
Yeah.
But, you know, we can talk about it like adults and we can agree to disagree, but I respect your opinions and I think you raised some valid points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite funny for me to see people in the fandom and it's taken what you said to heart. And you know, it's like, well, I thought you were pro free speech. You can't be offended by that, surely, right? It's just a different opinion.
Yeah, I've gotten a bit of stick of some of the things that I said. But listen, at the end there, I don't hold the fandom menace at them. You know, I don't hold an explanation to.
I did bugger all for you for the most part. You know,
so
when you were facing cancellation.
I will give my opinion, and if they don't like it, stuff them. Right? They talk about freedom of speech, but yeah, we've seen it even today. Someone that we know, you know, said something, and one of these members of the fandom menace going after them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm just going to say this, right, to any member of the fandom menace out there. Remember why you set up your YouTube channel for. Remember why you started fighting. Don't be starting to turn into the people that you...
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what's happening now. And some of them are believing their own hype.
Yeah, it's an ego trip.
Yes,
it's terrible.
I don't give a shit who you are, right? I don't care who in the fandom is. If I see you doing something or attacking one of my friends, I'm going to call you out, end off. Don't care who you are. None of this crap. I don't say because I don't give a crap anymore. You come out after anybody that we know and your fandom menace, I don't give a crap. I'm calling you out. Stop becoming the people that you claim to bloody hate, okay? And remember why you came onto YouTube in the first place. You come onto YouTube because you were worried about the topic or wherever pop culture you're in, wherever fandom you're in, you were worried about the way it was going. But please do not turn into these people because that's what's happening. And the biggest thing as well, they're all believing their own hype. They've got this big ego chip on their shoulder. Well, I'll take you down all a peg or two, right? You ought to stop being big for your boots and stop attacking innocent women in the fandom because you don't like what they had to say. End of. Done with you. Don't start that crap with me. Right. Also, what you call it, the movie stream. I'm just going to get it out of the way right now. The movie stream is going to have a new co-host. And we'll be rotating guests, like we said. The issue that we had has not been resolved, and it doesn't look like it's going to get resolved. And I'm not going to mention the person's name because, quite frankly, I don't give a flying feck anymore. If you're going to gaslight people, I don't want to know, right? If you can't accept responsibility for what you did, then you can get the fuck out of here and don't come in near me or anybody else in here again. Simple as that. Done. Right. We're done with that. Is there anything else you'd like to add before I start bringing on my guests?
No, I, again, completely concur.
I know you agree with me because we've seen it for ourselves and you've experienced it now. So
I won't go into any details, but yeah, I mean, I can confirm that, you know, the situation was, well, certainly not improved by said person. No, but that's done and dusted as far as I'm concerned.
And yeah, it is. And I'd just like to say that Howard the Duck will be going ahead with me and Ballstrick and Ghostbusters 2016 on the Irish Geek. So you can join us for that. You can join us for that. Well, I will have a new co-host, and I will also be rotating the movie stream guests. I'll be bringing a guest on with a co-host. That's the way I wanted to do it, and that's the way I'm going to do it. It's not going to change. So that's what we're doing. What else? I think that's it, really. We've got loads of stuff coming on this channel the weekend. Is there anything else you want to add before I start?
No, I'll stop squandering and taking up the time, and I'll let some other people have a
grand. We've got Jack in the chat. It looks like in the studio. It looks like Jack anyway, and it's definitely Charlotte because I could see her face. Like, unless someone's put on a mask.
It's
Charlotte,
not
man.
like going to be something out of
Like the movie Face Off,
the Face Off,
yeah.
or what's the other one? Silence of the Lambs or something.
Silence of the Lambs, yeah. But it's not. It's
good.
definitely Charlotte. It's definitely Charlotte. Right, let's get this show on the road. But listen, I will talk to you after the show. I'll bring you on at the end, as I always do. So I'll talk to you soon. And as I said, if you are coming on, talk to Lee in the private chat.
Announce yourselves, or thou shalt not be on. Period.
Confirm who you are. Confirm who you are. I've already confirmed those two guests, so it'll be the others if they come on.
Cool.
Right. We've only got two in the studio because this could be a short one now. So,
well, up to the put the link back in the chat if you want to come on. Nothing to stop you. If you haven't been on before, there's no barrier to you as long as we know kind of that you've been around.
If you don't want to talk Doctor Who, remember you could talk about anything else, Star Wars, whatever it is, WandaVision. It doesn't necessarily have to be Doctor Who. Okay, I'll be a bit more lenient on this channel about that. There's no point in me being just restricting it to Doctor Who for this one. So like, come on, have a bit of a chin wag.
Remember, that's how this channel was built in the first place, to give voice to people, and that's how I got involved in the first place, and it's a great thing.
And as I was saying to Sharon last night when we were all private chatting, me and Lee didn't get off on the best foot either. Me and Lee were actually down each other's throats.
We had a bit of a misunderstanding.
So I mean, look at us now. We're as tight as that. He tell you, man, you just don't realise the shit he's done behind the scenes for me. This man's a legend. And I will always be grateful to him. And I tell you one thing, very protective of Lee. If I see anybody come after me, that's it. They're done for, because I'm not having it. Not having it. This man has my back 24/7. Unbelievable. Takes no shit. And he will back me up. Listen, but he will call me out if he thinks I'm lying about something. No better man, like me wife. No better woman. She'll call me out as well.
I'll just tell it like I see it.
That's it. Right, you get backstage anyway.
All right. I will.
I will bring on Jack, and I'll talk to you soon.
Will do, man.
No problem. By the way, we have hit 1,903 subs now. We've gotten 1,900 subs. I'm actually blown away. We got there last night. See, what the other side don't realize is when they generate a lot of hate towards the channel, people come and check out the channel for themselves, and then they end up subbing. So thank you for that. The free advertising is always great, I have to be honest. I love it. Right, let's bring on our first guest. And it's Jack.
I know.
How are you, Jack? How are you getting on, pal?
Fine.
That's good. What was you
just got good grades.
Well, say that again.
I just got good grades on my uni course, so I'm pretty happy.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations. What do you plan on doing?
Oh, God knows, something in illustration.
Oh, nice, man. That's brilliant. Let's hope this bloody pandemic is over soon enough so you can get out there in the big bad world and do what you do. Because and there's people saying, well done, Jack, congratulations. Seriously, well done,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
I know in this current climate, it's very difficult for students, so well done. Really, really well done, I have to say. Is there anything in particular you'd like to talk about tonight, Jack? Is there anything on your mind?
Well, I did have an idea. Maybe we could just talk about our favourite Doctor Who episodes to kind of, bring the tension down in the fandom.
No problem. Right, well, fire away. What are Jack's favourite Doctor Who episodes?
Just so we're not here all night, I'll narrow it down to a specific era. So for me, Russell T Davies era is my Doctor Who because that's where I started.
Right.
So I'm not sure. Like, do you want to go first?
Well, for me, let me see. RTD. Right, we'll start with Christopher Eccleston. The Dalek is a good story.
That was my first.
Yeah, Empty Child, The Doctor Dances would be another one. Yeah, I love Dalek. Empty Child, Doctor Dances. What else in season one? Actually, there's not really a bad episode in season one. I think season one is pretty steady.
Yeah, I think it's
Maybe,
perfect.
yeah, maybe, maybe World War Three, the Aliens of London, World War Three, that double bill. Maybe that's the weakest in it,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad season one. Then we go on to season two. Season two was actually very good. Um,
Yeah, I don't get the hate that goes towards it. I hear some people say it's season 9 is better, and I think I'd literally just fall off my chair and like, right, that's it, I'm out.
I do like Capaldi's era, though. I know it gets stick, but personally for me, I do like the Capaldi era.
I love
Um,
Capaldi himself. I
yeah,
think he's brilliant, and I just wish he'd have had Russell's level of writing. He might have surpassed Tennant in popularity.
yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, he has, but and I think that's happened because of the attacks on him, though. I
Yeah,
think after Jodie was cast, there was a lot of nastiness
it's
towards
disgusting.
Capaldi, and it still happens to this day. It's like they need to take Capaldi down to elevate Whittaker, and if you have,
Yeah, well,
if you're doing that as a fan, well then there's a serious problem. Then you have to ask yourself the serious question, and the question is why are you doing it? The reason why you're doing it is because you know Whittaker is not good enough. The stories are not good enough. The acting is not good enough. It's as simple as that. Everything
well,
about
this
go on.
this is something that really annoys me. Isn't it funny how when the show is good, all people do is criticize every last detail about it, but now it's bad, they're looking for the slightest thing they can say that's good about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're absolutely spot on. But it is funny. It is because they'll find anything to complain about the other eras. But when it comes to this era of Doctor Who, you think this era was absolutely fantastic the way they go on. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect.
I
She's
know this
perfect
is
as the Doctor. The companions are perfect. Chris Chibnall's writing's perfect. But that's not true. That's not the case.
I know this is going to wind you up, Noel, but maybe it's because of how bad the show's gotten. But I hadn't seen a lot of stories yet, so I'm collecting the DVDs. And one of the ones I got recently was Time Lash,
Right.
and I have to say I actually quite enjoyed it.
Well, do you know what? You're going to be in for a bit of a surprise. That's the classic watch along this weekend. Time Lash.
Oh no, I'll gladly watch it again. Like my
There you
opinion
go.
might
So you've got
change.
the DVD. So come into the chat
Yeah,
and you can actually you'll be able to talk while we're talking about it. So that's fantastic. Yeah, it's not my favorite story, but
mm,
I was kicking and screaming last week because they've been trying to get this story. They've been trying to get me to do this story for months. So I've just said, look, I'll do it.
the thing that helped me was I went in and I was like, right, people have said it's bad, so I'm not going to go in with high expectations, and maybe
Hmm,
that's what it was.
could be.
You know,
Could
I
be.
got through it, and I have to say though, the monster's pretty impressive, like
Hmm,
visually.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good, and the time in the Rani wasn't bad either. And I think Paradise Towers was my least favorite, season 24. I couldn't stand it because the vacuum just reminded. Well, yeah, those things in the corridors just reminded me of the Hoover from Teletubbies.
Yeah, Paradise Towers is not many people's favorite, I have to say. Um,
Like
you
Kang's
know
Forever,
what?
like those girls, like Blue Kang, Red Kang, yeah. And I was literally like, what am I watching?
Yeah, yeah. I get like that. Seriously, with some stories, it's just yeah. But look, if you think about it, though, we've been pretty spoiled. I mean, if you look at over the whole era of Doctor Who, I mean, you could probably count on your hand the amount of bad stories there is on your two hands. There's not many.
No,
When they are bad, they're bad. That's the thing. There's no middle ground, So yeah, it is going to be an interesting watch along this weekend because I actually hate this story. Now I haven't seen it in a good while, so it'll be interesting to see if my opinion of the story changes from when I watched it back in the day. I'm hoping so, but I'll go in with the attitude. I'll go in with a clean slate with it. If I go in with this is crap. If I just go in and just watch it and try and enjoy it, I might actually surprise myself. We'll have
Because I
to
must
see.
admit, I went in with the kind of attitude where the teleporter is obviously just a box full of tinsel, but I was just laughing. I was just like, oh look, you can still see the guy in there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's. I tell you, can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be a funny weekend. I have to be honest. The link is in the chat, guys. By the way, so if you want to come on, please do, because we've only got 2 guests right now, and after Jack comes on, we'll have Charlotte, and that'll be it. Like if there's nobody else coming on. So as I said, the link is in the chat. If you've never come on before, this is your opportunity as well. This stream is all about you guys anyway. But back to our favorite episodes. I have to say, David Tennant, I have my favorite episode of his personally would have to be Midnight. I've said that. I think he acted serious in that there was none of this messing around. And it's a pretty scary episode. Because especially when the train stops and you hear the banging on the outside.
Oh yeah,
they play on the atmosphere, and that is absolutely brilliant.
It's not just that, it's that bit where I can't remember her name. I think it's Dee Dee, the little lady. It's when she says that creepy poem just randomly, and you've got Murray Gold's violins just screeching, and it sends chills down my spine every time.
Yeah, it is a good story. It's a very impressive story, and even the end of it, when Donna is kind of joking with him, and he goes, "No, don't do
that.
Don't do that." I was like that, but I've always wanted a second part to that story.
Yeah, find out what it is.
Yeah, to find out what it is, but then.
But maybe that's what makes it good, that we never know what it is. So it's like we can use our imagination.
I agree with you. Even though back in the day I was like, oh, I'd love to see a second, but now I'm thinking, you're right, it kind of ruined that mystery. So, yeah, I'm glad we don't know, but that is a terrific story. My least favorite of his, though, is, let me see, David Tennant. What would be my least favorite Doctor Who episode of his? Ooh.
Is it something cliche, like New Earth or Fear?
No, I like that story, believe it or not. I know it doesn't blow everybody away. What's my least favorite story of Tennant? Do you know
mine might cause some controversy?
I actually don't have one because I love Love and Monsters. Sorry, I know that's controversial, but I'm a fan of Love and Monsters. I'm a fan. I'm sorry, I love it. I don't think he has a weak one.
Mine, it may have just been the mood I was in when watching it, but I'm scared to say it because I know some people are going to be upset. But for me, my weakest Eccleston episode, and this doesn't in any way mean that it's bad, would have to be The Long Game. And for Tennant, my weakest episode, and once again, it could have just been the mood I was in, but it's The Doctor's Daughter. Me.
Right, well, The Long Game, that's the one with Simon Pegg, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest episode. I'll have to agree with you actually on that one. That's not the greatest story. I didn't like Adam. Wasn't that the one with Adam in it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of that one. Oh, I don't like Fair Whore. Fair Whore is rubbish.
I'm sorry, but the guy, the council dude, is a living legend. I mean,
Oh no, I love
how many times does he say council?
Yeah, I know. No, he's brilliant. It's the little girl. She does my head in. She does Chloe Webber. Well, everybody thought actually she was the timeless child, by the way. Yeah, Chloe Webber. I bloody hate her, man. She annoys me.
I will say this though: when the dad was coming out the cupboard and you could see his shadow, I was hiding behind the pillow when I was 7.
Oh,
Literally, I was
same
just like,
goes
"Oh
for
my
me.
god, are we gonna see him? Are we gonna see him?" But then we don't, and then singing makes him go away.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That part is actually pretty impressive. But when they start singing the bloody song, oh, jeez, just don't like that story at
It's
all.
fun for a laugh. I mean, come
Yeah,
on, when Tennant sticks his fingers in the marmalade jar and she's just like, and
yeah,
he
yeah.
stood there like,
That is funny. See, it
uh,
was a good concept, the scribble, the scribble
creature.
thing, but they,
Yeah.
I thought it was poorly executed. I think in the Peter Capaldi one, what was it, Flatline? Is that the one?
Flatline, I love that one. Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the drods coming to that was very good. That's how you do it. But yeah, I didn't like Fairhore. Yeah. The problem being says Fairhore was a -10. Nate Chibnall looked like a genius. I have to agree with you. I think it is a really bad
I
story.
I think it has a nice atmosphere though. It's something I can watch and smile, whereas with Chibnall stuff, it doesn't make me smile. It just annoys me.
Yeah,
But I do see because I didn't back then. I didn't know Classic Who. I thought this was just Doctor Who. Like you get a space story, then you get an Earth
right.
story, you know. But I will admit, I can see why people dislike it. It's probably nostalgia for me that
Yeah.
keeps it
Well,
good.
well, in fairness, as you've rightly pointed out, it is your era of Doctor Who. So
Yeah.
you would have a bit more of attachment to some
Mm.
of the stories, so that's fair enough. But yeah, there's just something about that. That's what I mean. Like I hate Fairhore, but I love and Monsters, and I know Love and Monsters is detested by most of this fandom. They don't like it, but I do. I love everything about it. I love the music. I love the main character. Yeah, it's a bit freaky and weird at the end. Like, let's be honest, him
I
having
have to
a
say though,
relationship
I
with
kind of wish the Hoiks was the main monster.
yeah,
That
but
thing at the start.
the
But
slab, having a sex life with a slab.
yeah, I have to
Oh,
say, Noel, I didn't get that until a YouTuber pointed it out recently. Like him
no
holding the
way.
slab between his legs.
I
And I was like, Russell,
know.
seriously?
I know. I just can't get my head around that. I could never get my head around that at all. I will say something about Love and Monster. The reason why I love it because it's Jackie's story.
Yeah.
I know it's about your guy as well, but it really is Jackie's story. This is where you see what it's like for a person that is left behind, where
Mm.
and she's devastated. You can see that
But that's
Jackie.
what I love. That's what I love about Russell. You would never see that kind of writing today.
No,
Like, they brought Yaz's family in temporarily and then we never saw them again. It's
mm,
just like Clara, they tried to give her a family. I think we saw them like once and then that was it.
yeah, yeah,
It was like I know people go on and I get see comments all the time. Oh, Russell's that gay weirdo that made the show a soap opera, and it's like, yeah, but it's character driven so that you identify with it more. It
yeah.
brings you more into it.
He's always been very good at character development. That's the one thing that RTD has over all of the new Who showrunners that we've had so far and writers. He understands characters. He understands how to develop them. He understands how to move a story along at a nice pace. And then you get the other fella, and he just doesn't know how to character build.
But
Or
that's why I agree with you, Noel, that series 2 is great because I love what they do with Jackie and having her reunite with a parallel version of Pete, and
yeah,
them two coming together. It's so well done.
yeah. Well, I was glad to see them too. That whole scene in the tunnel where they're like where he's talking, I'm very rich. How rich? very, I don't care. And it's like you're just waiting for the two of them to hook up, and then he says, "Ah, come here." And that moment, I have to be honest, that got to me. I was like, yes, yes, she deserves it because Jackie's been through a lot. I mean, the first time we seen Jackie, I wasn't sure about her, but I tell you, she grew on me throughout the series. But again, that is testament to Russell T, how he was able to develop her character. And remember, she wasn't on the screen all the time, but every time that she was on the screen, he made it count. He made it count. Right. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we get on our next guest?
I'd just like to end on a bit of a, I don't know, just one last fan thing, I suppose. I'll say my favourite story for each Doctor.
Right.
But keep in mind, I haven't seen all of them, so you may want to recommend some to me.
Right.
Because I know that a few streams ago you said your favourites, and I mostly agreed. So for Hartnell, it would be the Daleks. Cliche, I know. For Troughton, it would be Tomb of the Cybermen. For Pertwee, and this is difficult because I love so many of them. For me, the Green Death.
Interesting.
I would have gone with Inferno, but I think I've watched it too many times because I loved it so much. So it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to watch it again. But the Green Death, I'm dying to watch, but I'm doing a marathon, so it's going to be a while. For Tom Baker, I can't decide between the Seeds of Doom or Talons of Wen Chiang, but one of those. For Peter Davidson, it would be Caves of Androzani, probably. I would love to say Earthshock because I do like that one, but once again, watched it too many times. For Colin, it would be Attack of the Cybermen. That might be unpopular. And for McCoy, it would be Remembrance, probably. But as I said, I love a lot of McCoy ones as well, and I think Silver Nemesis is an absolute joy to watch. It's just so funny.
Have to be honest, you've picked some fucking terrific stories there, pal.
McGann is easy because he's only got two. So I'd say the TV movie, I'm one of those people that actually likes it. I just didn't like the half-human thing or the Master. The Master was a bit Terminator-ish and it was weird. And for Eccleston, it'd be Dalek because that was my first ever story. For Tennant, it would probably be... Oh, God. I don't think I can choose one from that because he's got so many, to be honest. No, can't choose one. I'll have to... That'll be a whole video. Matt Smith, maybe a surprise, but Vampires of Venice.
That is a good story, though.
I think that's quite overlooked.
Yeah,
honestly, it doesn't get up there as much. It's my favourite story from Series 5. And for Capaldi, for me, it's not World Enough in Time. It's actually Mummy on the Orient Express. Because I like it. It's claustrophobic. The monster's scary, and yeah, it's actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
For Jodie, oh God, Christ, Christ Almighty.
You know what? I'll give you Jodie Whittaker's one. You'll be surprised if I was going to pick my favorite of hers, it would have to be Spyfall Part 1.
See, I had a problem with that episode. It was mostly because of I've had an upgrade.
Yeah, I know. I get that line, but that was Chris Chibnall throwing his toys out of the pram and having a go off. But I didn't think she was too bad in that one, to be honest. And maybe the woman who fell to earth, but that's stretching it. I mean, compared to the rest of them, the other doctors, I don't know.
I'm going to have to say, I know it started the whole Timeless Child controversy, but I'm going to have to say Fugitive of the Jadoon purely for David Bradley, because that scene where he goes, God, that's one of the worst looking cakes I've ever seen. I was dying, absolutely dying. I was like, my God, why can't this guy just be the Doctor?
Yeah. I was kind of, when he got chosen as the companion, I was kind of like, nah, I'd rather him be the Doctor. But again, I think I have to be honest, and I'm going to be honest here. He's not Doctor material. The thing about it is, the only reason why we all said that we'd like him to be the Doctor is for the simple fact is the Doctor that we did get was very poor. But if we were to put our thinking caps on and take our fan caps off, we would definitely say that he's still not good enough to play the Doctor.
Wouldn't Bradley, here's a thought, wouldn't Bradley be, let's say if we were going Russell T Davies era, wouldn't Bradley be a great one to leave at home? You know, while the companion goes off in time and space, but she comes home to see Bradley every now and then.
Yeah, I would have loved that. Yeah, like
almost like the uncle or granddad or something. That would have been great.
Yeah, I agree. Right, listen, Jack, we actually have ran out of time, but we're back on Friday. So again, if you want to come on Friday, and let me know if you've watched any more classic stories, and let me know what you actually think the next. Yeah, when you come on, actually, if you want to talk about one of the classic stories that you really enjoy.
Well, I've just ordered the E-Space trilogy DVD box set, so I'll see how that one turns out.
Nice. Well, enjoy it. I say enjoy it. Listen, you will. I'm telling you, if you're going back watching Classic Who, you're going to have a great time. You really are. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're going to enjoy every single story that you watch. Some of them can be a slog to get through, but once you get to the end, the payoff in some of them is actually fantastic, and it does be worth it. So, stick with it, and enjoy it, because it's got a rich history, and hopefully one day, as I keep saying, Doctor Who might get back to some form or glory. I hope. We all hope, because we want to keep it on the TV, don't we? We want Doctor Who around. We don't want it to
definitely.
Especially now, we need Doctor Who more than ever, if I'm honest.
Maybe, I've always said, maybe this could be a blessing in disguise. Maybe it needs a break, and then when it comes back, everyone can get fired up for it again.
Exactly.
And I've said it before, I kind of hope that I'm involved a little bit, because it's my dream to work on it.
Well, listen, you keep doing what you're doing. Guys like you, there's others that actually follow this channel that have aspirations to be actually on that show in some capacity. Do it. I say, reach for the stars. Do what you want to do, mate. And hopefully, you never know. Hopefully we're there, and hopefully I'm still around. And if you're working on Doctor Who, I'll be reviewing your era, along with whoever the showrunner is, and that'll be quite fun. But listen, I wish you the best of luck with whatever you do, and I'm delighted that you got such good grades, and keep doing what you're doing. And thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, Jack. And listen, as I said, we're back again on Friday, so if you want to come back on, you're more than welcome.
Thanks, Noel. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Listen, you look after yourself.
You too, man. All right, see you soon, Noel.
See you soon, Jack. See you soon.
Bye.
And that was Jack. Right, listen, I just seen something in the live before I bring Charlotte on. I just seen something in the live chat there. All I'm just gonna say is let them report my channel if they want to report my channel. If a certain account out there is telling people to report my channel, YouTube has processes in place anyway. What are they going to report my channel for? They'll have to come up with a pretty good reason why they're going to report my channel, and they can't report it for hate or bigotry or anything like that. So let them do what they want to do. I am not worried about a little asshole out there that wants to make a name for himself. As I said, we don't give these people any oxygen, and they get nowhere. They're sad little individuals, nothing better to do with their lives anyway. So they're just it's petty. It's petty. They won't let anybody enjoy art, and they're just party poopers. Right, let's bring on our next guest. And we've got two more people in the chat. So we've got Charlotte and we've got Marty waiting. So I've put the link in. So I'll give everybody I'll give I gave Jack 12 minutes. So Marty's just popped off there. He'll come back in. I've given everybody 12 minutes. So I'll give Charlotte the same as well. So yeah, listen, they could YouTube know when a channel's being false flagged. So don't worry about it. But I will say there was another person mentioned that channel that they're flagging. Flagging as well. But I have to say, and I'm going to be out straight here, even though I'm friends with this person, they're actually setting themselves up because they keep poking the bear with a stick. And I don't know how many times I have to keep telling that person, you know, why you stop winding them up. Just leave it out. Stop with the thumbnails. Just leave it out and do your thing, you know, because it comes back to me again. See, I'm not involved and my channel's getting dragged into it. So I would urge that person, please stop. We've begged you to stop. You're our friend, but I want you to stop because if I'm not having my channel taken down because of someone else's actions. So I really need you to stop. I think a few of us has already went to that person and had a chat, and I know that person doesn't care what the other side think, but unfortunately, it's affecting other channels, especially mine, and that's not fair at all. So I'll leave it at that. I've said my piece. But if there are people mass reporting my channel, let them. They need to prove what I've done, and YouTube will review it and see that I've done nothing wrong. So let them do what they want to do. They're just sad people. They have no lives, and they need to come after us to make themselves have some self-worth, and that's sad. So let them. Right, let's bring the one and only Queen Bee. It's Charlotte.
Hello.
How are you? Sorry about that, Charlotte. I just had to get that out of the way because, yeah, ridiculous again. You know, I mean, these people just don't stop, don't you know? It's just.
Oh, it's just, I think, just to like make it a more simple term, people just need to learn to mind their own business.
That's
At
it.
the end of the day, if it doesn't personally involve you, why would you get so wet up about it?
Yeah. Thing about it is though, when someone does something in this fandom, right, that's on our side, let's just say, they blame me.
Yeah, but to be honest, no. Somebody like random on the street could walk past some of these people, call them a name, and they'd somehow blame you.
I know.
So that's the way they work.
Yeah. Right, Charlotte. We won't waste their time, waste your time. I haven't started the timer anyway, but we won't waste your time on talking about sad little individuals. But what is it you would like to talk about?
Just with this rumor now floating about a female showrunner and the name that you've talked about in the past and that a few people have talked about in the past.
Right. Maxine Alderton, is it?
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
It's just, I was thinking about it ever since this rumor surfaced because, like I've said, I do believe Chibnall's on his way out. So, and we've had females be a big part of this show in its history, right from Verity to Julie. Probably with Moffat, I know he didn't have as much of a right-hand woman like Russell did, but he had female directors. He had a lot of females around him.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, a female showrunner, it wouldn't be that out of the norm for them to do that next. I honestly don't think, if you really think about it, and if they could pick somebody, if they just have an open look and the most talented person just happens to be female, I think nobody in this fandom would have an issue. If it's purely talent, and that's like I've said, we've had Julie, we've had Verity, we've had female directors, female writers. I don't think it's if after they've started to show some of their work, it starts to feel a bit like they've been picked because of other reasons. That's when people would start to pass comment, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you are right. This show has got a rich history of strong females behind the scenes. I would not be opposed to a female showrunner if it was the right one. I do not think that Maxine Alderton, after doing one episode, is the right person to move Doctor Who forward.
Well, here's the thing. I completely understand that, because you can't really say whether somebody's good off one episode.
Yeah.
But it sounds like whatever her role is, possibly in series 14, whether we know she's a course writer for series 13.
Yeah.
So I would guess that means she's probably got 2 or 3 episodes, is a guess from me, writing wise, for series 13. Because it's a reduced episode count, so maybe that means she's even got more than that. Maybe she's really doing a lot of the writing for the upcoming series. And I think then you can properly judge her. And it would make sense a bit, then at least they've given her a good chunk of one series to write. Maybe if she's the possible female showrunner that they're trying to sort of line up to replace Chibs with. But I think the thing that actually I was like, yeah, I'd be up for giving her a go if she was announced. And it's what I've sort of been getting at for a while. She's from the outside. She's come from other shows. She's not part of the Doctor Who sort of mafia, as we joke. That sort of group of all those writers which are very chummy and know each other and are very pally. And I just think one of the smartest moves probably after Chibnall is to do somebody like Maxine, in regards of she's not like a massive, she's been in the fandom for years type. She's come in recently into the fandom. And I just think that's going to be one of the best things for this show, because we desperately need, I think after all the canon heaviness of Chibnall with this stupid timeless child storyline, the smartest move the BBC could make is to go really back to basics and to have somebody who's not going to have that canon obsession. And Maxine, from her background, to me, it looks like she would. She's from soap. She's from other things, and I know some people said, "Oh, that means she's not sci-fi." But here's the thing: she's just a showrunner. Like, obviously, we don't know. This is just ifs and maybes. But you can put 2 or 3 producers around her who are very sci-fi backgrounds, who could help her, who could be producers, who could be some of the writers. And I think that would work a little bit. Obviously, like I said, we'll have to see what she does in Series 13. I think that's going to be the ultimate test. And they'll probably be clever announcing if it is her after Series 13, not right now. Because like you said, people are going to go, she's done 1 episode. But like I said, maybe she's the kick like that the show needs. Like somebody like her anyway.
You know what? I didn't think of it that way. Maybe you could be right. You kind of do have you make a very good point, and it is a valid point that you make. For me, though, okay, you make the point that she could probably have experience around her. I would feel more comfortable if that was the case. She does come from a soap background, and that's the thing that kind of worries me, is because, you know, the biggest complaint that we have about the Chris Chibnall era is the writers that he brought in obviously have experience in soaps, and it comes across a bit soapy, you know, and that's the issue I would have. Would it still be kind of like a soap opera in spec? We don't want a soap opera.
But to be fair, her episode, from what I've not watched it, so if she gets announced, I would probably watch it, all her stuff, just so I could get a gauge on her. But from what I've heard of Villa, it wasn't soapy. From what I've heard of it,
no, it was actually not. I have to be honest. It wasn't. I remember my review at the time with the panel. It wasn't too bad, but again, Bradley in that episode was a bit of an idiot in it. I just, You know, you always make very, very, very good points, and you've made me think now, but I'm just not sure that she's the right one. And she is an activist. If you actually check Maxine Alderton's, she is an activist. That tells
Yeah,
you.
but to be fair, I think everybody in the industry has
Is
got a
a-
bit of that in them
yeah,
because you just need to. I've always said you can be an activist, you can be very political. Just I don't need to be able to tell that from your stories.
no, you make another good point. I don't like to argue with you, so I'm not going to argue, but
No, you should if you have a different viewpoint because I
I
know.
just I'm a bit hesitant, but you are right. I mean, let's see what she does for Series 13. She's only done one episode, and everybody has actually said that our episode, most of the stuff that we have seen, was decent, and I would agree with that. But I'd actually agree with thinking there. Pete Mitoig for me would be the better call, but
You could be
again.
producer.
But again, though, as Charlotte said, we've only seen one. She is going to be one of the core main writers on Series 13. So let's see what our episodes are actually like before we make a rush judgment on her. I will be a bit more, not lenient is the wrong word, but I will be a bit more open-minded when it comes to the new showrunner. They just have to get it right, though. This next showrunner choice, though, in my opinion, Charlotte, is very important. It
Yeah,
has to be the right person.
yeah. I think right now, who is at a stage that it can't suffer another fatal blow because the Whittaker run / Chibnall, if he's going as well, you'd see it as like a double act, really, almost. It's been a really fatal blow, and it's just on its knees, and it could have another life if the BBC pick an actor. Because I've said this plenty of time. I don't care. People call me out for it. It needs to be male, and that's why I don't believe the rumor that they're just looking at females again. I just don't think they're in a position to do that. I think I'm not saying that they're going to say, "Oh, we can't do female after Jodie." I think they probably are just going to have an open casting call, which means male and females they're looking at.
Yeah,
They can't do politics again. They can't have a doctor that's basically been chosen because of politics.
I agree with you. I don't think they can go down the female doctor route now. I think Chris Chibnall has tainted that for any other woman. Now, if this rumor is true, which I'm like you, I'm highly doubtful that it is that they're only looking at women for the role. But if that was the case and BBC are basically doubling down, well then it's over. It's
Yeah,
over.
it is.
Doesn't matter who the actress is. It's over as far as I'm concerned. I don't think fans will accept another female doctor. I'm sorry. That might hurt a few people in that on the other side of the fandom, but that's the stark reality of the situation. That's why the ratings are down. Whether you like it or not, it's not just the writing. It is got to do with the fact, whether it's right or wrong, it is got to do with the fact that there's a woman in the role. It has been for over 50 years a male-dominated role. I'm sorry, and that's unfortunately hard for some people then to adjust when they change that up. And I think Chris Chibnall now has guaranteed that another woman will not play the doctor for a long, long time because of his writing, because of his choice of actress. It hasn't worked. So if they are only looking at female doctors, well then I'm sorry to say it is over. It's over. It's done.
But I just can't see. We've talked about this before, and I've said I think the Timeless Child has weakened Chibnall. I think the merch, like the lack of merch sales, has weakened like before Whittaker, they could take a punt on a female doctor because it was a punt, it was a gamble. Even when you hear now and again Chibnall talking Doctor Who magazine or whatever, even he sort of uses terms which are blatantly saying we didn't know this was going to work. We did it because we wanted the sort of change and the risk factor of doing a female. So before Whittaker, yeah, we've said Capaldi was suffering at the end of his run, but there was still so much love for this show. There was still so much, I'd say it's not love, I think it was good faith, and that has now gone.
Yeah.
Fans aren't going to just jump on now. They're going to wait. They're going to see what other people are going to say. That's why, obviously, I think the new 14th, I don't know if the 14th Doctor's first episode, it will be an uptake. I'm not that daft. It will definitely be an uptake in viewers. But I'm even thinking, because of how bad the current run has gone, could it even mean that they don't get, like, stupidly high viewing figures like initially for 14? Just because people are a bit cautious and they'll wait. They'll see what YouTubers say. They'll see what people they trust say.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
like I'm one of the few out of like I've chatted now with a few of you guys offline, and I seem to be one of the few who's like, yeah, I'll give 14 a go because it's a different energy. I think there'll be more people willing if Chibnall's gone as well. And I think if he stays, there's going to be a good chunk of people who are going to go, why am I going to come back? You've changed the face, but you've still got him as your showrunner.
Yeah.
So it needs to be him gone. So
I agree. I just, he's done to, look, I said this back to Series 11. I think he mortally wounded the show, Series 11. And I think he stood on a dead corpse with Series 12. I just don't see this current era recovering from the mess that he's left. He does have to go. He definitely has to go. If he's there with a new face as the 14th Doctor, well then, I'm sorry. Again, I will say to you, fans aren't going to come back. Because you could have Helen Mirren in the role, Oscar winner. You could have Olivia Colman in the role, another Oscar winner. It's not going to work with him in charge. He is a dead duck when it comes to Doctor Who. His
he's
time,
a hack. At the end of the day, he's a hack.
his time as a showrunner has to come to an end. It's as simple as that. And if it doesn't, again, it's doom and gloom. And I'm sorry, this is the reality of the situation. And it will be doom and gloom. People will not accept Chris Chibnall a showrunner anymore. They've had enough of him. He's done too much damage. Right, forget about his casting. This is about his writing. What he's done, what he's tried to do. Fans will never forgive him for that. And they still won't. And there's still fans that haven't come back to the show because of what he has done. And they will never return because of what he's done. That's down to him. He has to go for these fans that have walked away for them to even consider coming back again. So BBC need to make the decision and they need to kick him out on the curb as well. It's done. It's game over. Do us a favour though. Daniel's in the chat anyway, but you can plug away, plug user channel and let us know what you have coming up on Daniel.
So we're doing just our little break like we like to do in between a few streams, and when we come back it will be our stream covering both minisodes of Beware because they're about 10 minutes, so it's better to do them both in one stream. And then we'll do our chill sort of stream, which is our excellent conversations. And beyond that, we're sort of talking about ideas, but we don't like to plan too far ahead. So those are the two things we've got going on. And then I'll go on New Who for watch along, so you don't have such a crowded classic panel.
Oh no. Your place on Classic Who is safe. The reason why you're on Classic Who's because you give a different perspective. You're new to these stories, some of these stories. So no. You're definitely staying on the Classic panel. You're not being changed. That's why I said it to the lads, and I didn't mention you. They will be the ones, and they mightn't like that, but I want you to stay on the Classic panel, because you give a point of view that we don't have, because you're watching them, maybe some of these stories for the first time. So yeah, so I want you to stay. Listen, ultimately it is up to you, but I would like you to stay on the Classic panel personally.
I was just thinking for ease of use, so if the lads can work out what they're doing between themselves, I'll stay.
Yeah,
But if not,
you just let the lads work out between them, and you stay on the Classic panel.
okay.
Because I'd rather have you on the Classic panel, because you have as I said, you have a unique perspective that you're only watching some of these stories for the first time, and that's why people love you on the panel, because you give a point of view that we wouldn't necessarily, and you always say something that we mightn't have even thought of. So that's why I like you on the Classic panel. So look, Daniel will be back soon when he feels like it, and then the new Who panel will fill up again. I'm just waiting for him to return, and I'll make a big deal out of it as well, because I can't wait for him to come back. Well, I'll wait until he's ready. He's just not ready yet, and I understand that. We had a bit of a chat today, so I know what's going on. So it'll be grand. It'll be grand. Don't worry about it. You're staying on the Classic panel. Right.
Okay.
So lads, you sort it out amongst yourselves. You know who you are.
So I'm then on Saturdays on here on the Classic Who panel.
Yeah.
Wherever I pop up else, really, I just sort of have if people ask me to come on, I come on streams, basically.
That's it. Charlotte is a floater.
I am a bit of a floater.
She floats around, flits and floats, and then yeah. Right, listen, Charlotte, as usual, thank you for coming on and making me brain hurt and think about what you said. It's going to be very interesting to see if anybody else actually agrees. Actually, what Charlotte said about obviously Maxine Alderton, do people agree with Charlotte? Do you agree that this could be an inspired choice? You know, I know she's only done one episode, and it is hard to kind of judge her on that, but she will be the co-writer, one of the co-writers for Series 13, which suggests to me she's doing more than one story. So let me know what you think about Maxine Alderton. But listen, Charlotte, as usual, it's an absolute pleasure having you on, and thanks very much for coming on.
No problem, matey. And keep doing what you're doing, and don't listen to the idiots.
I won't. We're going to keep doing. That's it. Look, okay. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
See everybody else in the chat then in a second. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye. Right, we've got another guest with us. He's been floating in and out, so he might hop in and out, but it's the one and only Marty.
Greetings. Good evening. How is everybody?
I'm good. How are you?
Ah, well, I'm still living anyway.
Yeah, we're all still alive, I suppose. That's a good thing.
How are you getting on? How's things been?
Yeah, everything's been fine except for obviously the little bit of drama that we had. But you know, there's always drama surrounding this channel when we do art, and they just don't like what I do. But you know what? Screw them. We're gonna keep doing what we do, and if they want to hate us for it, let them. And they want to mass report me channel, let them. Who cares? Anyway, Marty? But what would you like to talk about? What have you got for us?
No, I haven't really got just to say that I've been I've trolling, not really trolling. I've been scrolling. I think that may be the better word for it. I've been scrolling the usual places and this, that, and the other, and there's a lot of stuff that's emerging. But I've noticed now that people on a certain website, I'll not name it, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
Have now noticed that the stuff on there is being reported over here. So they're starting to fire out a lot of misinformation, and I think it's just to make fools of us. If I'm being honest with you, because I think there was one of the things I mentioned the last time that just the guy turned around basically a couple of hours later after we reported it and said, "No, I was only taking the piss." But so there's stuff that I've sent you. You've probably seen it, but I don't think just for the time being, maybe until I know that he's been serious about this. I don't want to put it. I don't want to put it out there yet.
Yeah, no, don't, because I'm starting to think like you now. There's something really dodgy going on, and I don't like it. There is. I think this is an attempt by a JBot account to try and discredit those that put out source information. You know, and
Yeah.
I think it's quite pathetic, to be honest with you, that you'd resort to that. But it is funny that this account that you talk about does kind of, you know, when we do streams and we talk about certain stuff, then it ends up being on this account.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's something. They're either just gathering all the information that they're finding and listening to people, and they're just genuinely throwing it up, or they're trying to discredit us. And you know what? You're not going to you won't discredit us, because, as we have always said, every piece of information that we put out is rumor and speculation. We never say it's fact anyway. So I mean, if this is a pathetic attempt to try and expose people or whatever, well, you're not going to, because, you know, at the end of the day, we don't say that all this stuff is fact. We never do. It's not our game. We give the news as we say it, the rumors and the information, and then we say, listen, it's rumor and speculation. And if you can't get that, then that's their business. But listen, I don't know, Marty, I'm starting to get suspicious like you anyway. And I don't know, maybe on Galaxy there's a little bit of that going on as well. There's a little bit of that.
There is. I'm not going to say what it is until I'm 100% sure what if he's been serious or not. But there is. He claims that he has received information. I said it to you before, of initials of who the next doctor. Well, of who he assumes the next doctor is. I'll not say what it is until I'm 100% sure on that. But yeah, he claims to have received initials of whoever the next doctor is. But I don't want to go with that until I know he's actually been serious about this and not just putting out something just to make a fool out of people, you know.
No, I'll mention the person. Listen, I don't mind, because it's rumor and speculation anyway. So this person,
you can go for it. You can go for it. Yeah.
So this person is claiming that it's Lydia West.
Yeah.
So who the feck is Lydia West?
Lydia West, if you have seen, if any of you have seen It's a Sin by Russell T Davies, she was the girl that was in it. She was the woman.
Lydia West. Right, let's see what. Right. So this is who they're saying. Oh, I do know who she is.
Yeah,
I know the actress actually.
Yeah. She was in Years and Years. Russell T Davies wrote that.
She was also in something else, if I remember. Let me see. She was in Years and Years. It's a Sin, but she was also in. Well, no, hold on now, because I'm looking at our filmography here, and she was in It's a Sin, but she also has something coming up. It's called Text for You and Suspicion, and the dates for them have not been set yet. So unless she's squeezing Doctor Who in between that, I'm actually ruling her out right now, actually.
Or else maybe she has those maybe she's finished working on those things and they just have yet got a date to go out. Who knows?
Could be as well. Yeah, that's a fair statement to make. But I'll get you the photograph of the actress. So here she is here. We get this picture here. I know her, but she was in something else, I remember.
Yeah, I've only seen her in It's Ascendant years and years. She actually is a decent actress.
Yeah.
She is decent.
Right.
Like,
So here you go. Here's the alleged new doctor, according to this. So there's Lydia West. That's Lydia there. That's her there. Look, can I make that picture bigger? Hopefully I can. Hold on. There. So there she is there. Can you see that? Yeah. Oh no, it unshared for some weird reason. Hold on. Yeah, see, this
so
is where I'm starting to think that this is all bullshit because this person, the account on Twitter is also saying that they're only actively looking at women to play the role. So that's Lydia there, folks. Obviously, there she is in that looks-
Dracula too.
yeah, and she was in Dracula there, as you can see. So that's who they're claiming, and she's also worked with that actress that did that video that said that she knew who the new doctor was. So they've worked together. So I don't know.
I don't know. There's something odd. I mean, the fact that Tania Miller knows who it is, and it shows that it almost. I'm surprised it hasn't become public knowledge yet. I mean, the level of secrecy must be that bad. The fact that she found out, or else Lydia West, if it is her, couldn't keep her mouth shut and told Tania Miller. But I don't know. It's
Or maybe that's a friend that she went to her and said, "You guess what? I'm after getting the role of Doctor Who," and then like obviously she did her video. Yeah, I don't know. I've always said that video was a bit of smoke and mirrors as well, though. I don't know. We don't know. We this is the thing.
Yeah.
Nobody knows, and anybody out there claiming they know who the doctor is, they're lying. And I'll say it out straight, they're lying. Nobody knows who the next doctor is, not yet, anyway.
It's I don't know. There's something fishy, as I've said before. I still think there's something coming in March because this whole March thing has been swirling around now for ages.
Yeah.
There's something coming on the 8th or the 21st of March. I'm just not too sure. We just don't know what it is.
International Women's Day, remember that, Marty. So the 8th of March is one big date that they've mentioned. Now, if it is International Women's Day, right, and Doctor Who or BBC is going to make some announcement, well, they could announce Maxine Alderton and a new female doctor all at the same time if that's the route that they're going down.
Yeah, now, that's what they would do.
Now, I don't know how fans... I've already seen someone in there saying, well, if that's the next doctor, I'm done. How would you feel if Maxine Alderton and this Lydia West person was cast as the new doctor? Maxine Alderton was the showrunner. How would people feel in the chat? I think it's game over.
It needs to be, as I've said before, I'm going to be one of the people who said I actually liked the episode she done, but you cannot give her that role. You can't give her that job based on one episode. She'd need to have a good 4 or 5 episodes behind her before you'd even consider her, for starters. You can't just, that's like me writing an episode and turn around and saying, you know what, we'll get Marty to be the next showrunner. Like, I mean, no, it's I would, if I was her, I wouldn't take it for starters because I think I would like to have a portfolio of episodes behind me to turn around and say it's a bit like me. I've been about here for a while, and I'm a big fan of Toby Whithouse.
Yeah,
he's the guy I'd want. I know not all of his episodes were great, but they're a hell of a lot better than Chibnall's, I'll tell you that. Yeah. And I would if they came to me in the morning, if the execs, the hierarchy of the BBC said to me in the morning, who would you want? I would be ringing Toby Whithouse. That's the guy I'd bring in because he's done Being Human. He's a great writer and he has ran a show that is most successful in BBC Three. And he knows Doctor Who. He's the guy to go for.
But
Yeah.
back to Lydia West, though. If
Yeah.
she was the choice and they went with her, again, this is an actress that this would be a step up, right?
Yeah.
This would be probably our biggest role, right? Like with Jodie Whittaker. I just don't see it working.
I think she is a better actress than Jodie Whittaker, but at the end of the day, I think it all comes down to the writing. It all comes down to the writing. A good actor, it's sort of like, I don't know, you could have a situation where sort of like Capaldi, where Lydia West could be a great actress in the role, but it's the writing that could hold her down. It's sort of like, Capaldi was amazing, but it was Moffat's writing that just didn't stack up. So that's what I could see happening there, where we have the case of Lydia West might come in and prove the likes of me and you, Jesus, actually, a female doctor, she makes a female doctor work. But, as the writing goes on, and whoever, you consider, right, say you have Maxine Alderton as the showrunner, right? So who does Maxine Alderton bring in to write for her? Does she bring in new writers like Chibnall, or does she bring in the likes of Toby Bathurst or Jamie Matheson, or people from the RTD and Moffat here, or does she start bringing in soap writers like flipping people from Emmerdale or Coronation Street or something like that? All right, I'll give it to her. She wrote a good episode, but as I said, she needs to have about 4 or 5 episodes behind her before you can even consider her for that role. But if it was her, and she did bring in the likes of, I probably would have her showrunner on only if she brought in writers from RTD and the Moffat era, and even I wouldn't even mind if they brought in some writer from the classic era. Where the hell's Andrew Cartmel? Get him to write a bloody episode. Bring him in. So yeah,
I mean, Maxine Alderton could work if she brings in the right people.
That's what I think that she needs to do. She needs to, if she does take the role, she needs to. I don't think she can just go on and start bringing in new writers. I think she needs to be surrounded by people who know the show. She doesn't know it as well. She's written one episode for it, so I think she needs to be surrounded by people who know it in order to get a better grip of it. So I think she needs to bring in, if it is her, it mightn't even be her, but if it is her, she needs to bring in writers who know the show, not like Chibnall's doing and bringing in these random writers that I haven't even heard of.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's what I would do if I was her.
I agree. Look, as I said, March 8th is coming pretty quick now. We've got 3 more days in this month.
Yeah.
And then 8 days then later, then this apparent big announcement is supposed to be getting made. So we'll see. According to that site, by the way, this is not me saying it. There's rumors going around the Gallifrey base, and also there's a Twitter account that was set up only a few weeks back that has been thrown up suspiciously. Some of the news we've covered on this.
Yeah.
News
I don't even know what that is.
What?
I don't even know who that account is or what. I've sort of went digging to see if I could find out anything about that account. I can't find nothing. So I don't know if it's someone taking the piss or if it's someone being led on. I don't know what it is. I've tried doing a wee bit of digging to see if I could find out anything, but I haven't got anything concrete.
No, it is suspicious, but we'll wait and see. There's only a few weeks to go. If nothing comes by the 8th of March, then we know it's bullshit.
Yeah, that's it.
So we'll just have to wait and see. And if anything does come in the meantime, Marty, anyway, let us know. I have been in contact with resources throughout the week. Nothing coming out from them yet at the moment, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens because, as the weeks and months go by, the speculation is only going to keep growing and it's going to get wilder. So
6 months from now, was it? We're in February, say March now. Just say, for example, we're near March now. 6 months from now, we're going to be heading into September, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna know the truth of what we've been speculating here now. We're gonna know if she is leaving. We're gonna know who's coming in. We're gonna know if Chibnall is out. We're gonna know. So yeah, it's a lot can happen in a couple of months. I know at the minute it probably seems like a slow news day, a slow news week or month, you can even call it. But the news is coming. Just when that is, we don't know. But we just sort of have to keep your ear to the floor and keep an eye on what's been said.
As I said, interesting times ahead. I cannot wait.
That's it.
Sorry.
That's it.
No,
you're all right.
I'm nearly choking here.
No, eat away. Hey. That's grub's good for you. Grub's good for me. Hey, have you seen me? I'm a what would be the term for me? I'm all there. If that's a good term for me, I'm all there. I like my food.
Yeah,
So,
same here. Right, I got that down me. Jesus, I nearly choked there. But look, as I said, next few weeks, maybe even the next couple of days, interesting times ahead for this fandom. But it is critical that they get the showrunner right. It is critical that the doctor that they choose is the right person. And hopefully then we will see what that new showrunner, who they bring in, what team they assemble. And then we'll have a better we'll have better knowledge anyway, and we'll be able to see where it's gonna go. But we'll see what happens. Marty, do you want to plug anybody before you leave or anything?
No, nobody really to plug. Nothing really to say or nothing really to shout out. You can find me over on the Twitter train, if you can call me that. I think PD Rich has dropped the link in, so you can find me over on the Twitter train if you wanna PM me or chat, because these can be lonely times, especially at the minute with everything that's going on. And I know myself, my own head hasn't been great, but what I will say, I'll probably say this now, anybody that's not feeling the best, my DMs are open, because I know what it's like.
Yeah, it's great. And it's always good to know that there's someone out there for you when in your time of need. And I'll say the same to you as well. Don't be straight if you ever need to talk, man. You know, my DMs are always open, and I just stay up most of the night anyway. So anytime, day or night, you know. And if I don't get back to you straight away, I'll get back to you anyway. But
no,
just let
I'm not going to yourself and anybody that's in the group and the chat below. If speak out, because I've been there. I've nearly done the worst thing you could do, and I know that these times just aren't that easier, but hopefully now over the next lot of months that things will start to open up and we will get back to some sense of normality again.
Yeah, that's all we want, isn't it? Really.
That's it.
Yeah. Right. Well, listen, Marty, thanks for coming on anyway, and
no bother.
It will be interesting to see. I say there's going to be a lot of names thrown around from here until Jones.
Oh, I've heard madness. I've heard absolute madness on that website, and to tell you the truth, you sort of know what is rubbish. If I come out with half the stuff I've seen here now, I would be laughed at the whole way to Timbuktu and beyond.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. There's just so much rubbish out there, and that's what I mean. When you're on these platforms, you kind of have to sift through the bullshit, don't you? And see what kind of looks legit, and then report it. So yeah,
that's it. Well, sure. Listen, I'll let you all go, and I'll hang about in the chat. And thanks for having me. And maybe I'll speak to you at the end of the week or early next week.
No problem. Listen, you're more than welcome on anytime. We're back on Friday, so if you hear anything in the meantime, you're more than welcome to come back.
I'll give you a dig, right? As soon as I see it, you're the first man to find out.
Thanks, you're a star, man. I do really appreciate that, by the way.
No bother at all. Here,
You usually
I'll-
go with someone else, and you don't. So thanks very much. I do appreciate it.
No bother. Right, I'll go, sure, and I'll chat to you all later.
See you later, Marty. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Right, and that was Marty, but that was our last. That was our last guest, believe it or not. Nobody else came into the studio, so it's a short one tonight. But I don't mind that. It's always good, Sometimes, it's more about the substance than anything else, because sometimes we might get too many on and people say, "Oh, Jesus, a 3-hour live stream now," blah blah blah. So we had a short one tonight. So we'll bring Lee back in and we'll see what he had to say about some of the things that were said, and then we will leave it there. So let's bring him back on. It's Lee.
Hello.
So that was a good one again tonight.
Yeah.
Some great
Depressing as hell, but yeah.
great points by all our guests. Again, Charlotte knocking out of the park.
Well, are you surprised?
No, not at this. No, not anymore. She always makes me think, but at the end of every one of these, she always has a different. She makes you think.
Well, she's got a different slant on things, which
and I like that. That. Because I would have ruled Maxine out completely, but then when she says, she got experience behind her, you never know.
And then we got Jack Main there, said, tried to brighten it up a bit. There you did.
You did, Jack. Well done for coming on first, by the way. I know it's never easy to come on first.
I was trying to get Babette Bombshell to come on, but dishes are a priority.
Yeah, well, it doesn't
hands
matter.
that do dishes are as soft as your face with old green
on Friday. We're here again on Friday, so if nobody comes on the Wednesday, they come on the Friday. So
well, look. Now Babette's saying I can come on, so they've got an extra guest, and you got some time.
Right, then we'll bring him on with you. Hold on, we might as well bring him on. Right,
I'll put the link in.
Yeah, put the link in, and we will end with you two. Now I'm gonna put you on timer now because I don't want to be here all night either. Want to spend a bit of time with the missus.
You got all the rest of your life for all that.
No, I don't.
I think you'll find I'm slightly more important.
No, you're not. My wife.
I think I am. I do believe I am.
Your wife and unfortunately my dog are the most important. Unfortunately, and then you come after that. Right? So the wife, dog. Well, he is my son.
I see. I come underneath the dog. I see.
Well, we can put.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. Pets are family.
If it makes you feel that.
No, don't suck up to me now. I'm not interested.
Yeah. Well, we put the link in the chat there, pal. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome.
Come on, Babette.
I'll give you 12 minutes.
On in.
I sympathise with Babette. You don't want the dishes to sit for too long.
No.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I've left mine because I've just been so overwhelmed with doing some work, and it's just I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes out. I'll do it tomorrow. It's terrible. Last week it's just been really bad.
And as Daniel says, well done, Charlotte. I agree. PD Rich says it's all right now. We've got until 10:30 until Az is on Unsafe Space with Kerry and Carter. That's absolutely fantastic.
And Marty there says I'm important to him. So there you go. At least I'm important to him.
They're all important. Of course, they're all important to me. Love you all. I love you all. Mm-hmm. Right, let's bring him on because the last time I had him on, we had such a blast. And I was hoping he'd be here every week, but he's been a busy man. He's got
lots of dishes.
He's got lots of dishes to do.
I would have thought he would have had hired help to do the dishes, quite frankly.
Yeah. Yeah, but YouTube hasn't been very good to him lately. They've been screwing him around with the algorithm.
Yeah, weird. In the
and
chat as well.
It's
Yeah.
weird. But I have to say, last time we had him on, I did have a good time. So here he is. It's the one and only Babette Bombshell.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Very well, my dear. Very
So
well.
good to hear you guys.
You too. It's been a while. Fabulous.
It has. How are you been?
I'm doing good. Well, I'm just here to dish. And now that I've washed my hands and I'm done, I'm done actually washing my dishes. I thought I would pop in.
Babette, are you coming on? Get on here, Babette. Move your ass.
I'm here. I'm
And
here.
no answer. I thought, that's weird. I'm being
in the chat
sent to Coventry here.
In the chat, I've sent you a message a couple of times there. Is there something wrong? Or you ignored me?
Well, it's because every time Babette would post something in the chat would flag up every time. I just thought maybe it was another weird glitch with that. I don't know.
So funny.
Yeah.
No. I'm not ignoring you. I swear to God, you have my undivided attention.
Well, you
now.
bloody well can't ignore me. I won't allow it.
I'll let the two lovebirds talk, and I'll see us later on, folks.
Well, look, go and spend time with your wife and your dog or whatever it is. It takes precedence.
What's new? What's new with your Babette Bombshell? What's going on?
Well, I'm watching kind of in awe as this whole thing goes on with the BBC, and man, they've just dug themselves such a hole with Doctor Who that in the production office of that, the BBC is, I guarantee, drafting a whole new list of guidelines for the next showrunner. Because how do you even anticipate somebody? It's like Chibnall read a book, How to Destroy a Franchise for Fun and Profit. And it's just, so...
fun and no profit. Even.
Well, that's it. It. But this will be the first time the series has been in a situation where, since Hartnell's regeneration into Troughton, where they'll have a hard time getting big name actors, to come in and audition for this role. Because nobody's agent, no thinking logical agent would put their client, who's a big name client, up for this part, much less audition them, because it's an albatross around your neck.
Well, yeah, it's gone to the bargain basement now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing. I guess any agent is just going to go, no, it's on a downhill slide, unless, of course, you've got someone of like Capaldi's stature and someone who gets it, who can really turn it around and is willing to risk it. But if you're going to get a big name, it might have to be kind of like a vehicle thing, and they get their own people in.
Yeah,
say, right,
that's it.
I want to work with so and so and so and so. If you want me to do this and save your ass, then I want to have such and such in charge and doing the production, directing, and all this stuff.
I won't be surprised if whoever the next showrunner is already has talent lined up who they want to play the Doctor, and they kind of come in a contract together, because that way whoever's the showrunner will have a certain amount of comfort taking over the part, taking over running the show. Because if it's up to the BBC's kind of let's focus group it and see who politically would land, because the problem right now is the show is being run from publicity stunt to publicity stunt.
Exactly.
The scripts are being written for a very young audience, because they know their demographic is young now, because parents use the BBC as an electronic babysitter.
Yeah, but early Doctor Who was also written for young people, but it never patronized them.
That's right.
Now it does, like worst kind of patronizing, and that kind of cringe. Let's speak like the kids, I mean, we've got a woman who's in her late 30s or early 40s, I can't remember, and she's talking like she's down with the kids, and it's just so embarrassing.
Well, even the marketing of the show, if you look at this whole era's marketing of the show, it's their YouTube marketing platforms are like them rolling around on the floor, putting together foam puzzles.
Oh God, yeah.
And it looks like it just looks like children's programming because that's what the show is now.
It is. It's what I call CBeebies, kind of, children's television.
Someone actually mentioned that it should go back on to Doctor Who. Should go the way it's going now. It should go back. It should go on to CBeebies because it's that type of level now, isn't it?
Really is.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, the Sarah Jane series had much more, content that would make you think when you walked away from the show. This show, you don't walk away thinking, "Gosh, that was really deep." Ever in the show?
No,
never.
No.
But the interesting thing to see, because when Jodie regenerates, whoever she regenerates into, the current fandom that are Jodie's fans, these political fans that are there just because they believe in, the kind of messaging and stuff, are going to totally lose their minds, regardless of whoever they regenerate her into.
Well, unless it's even woker than Whittaker. Woker than Whittaker. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, that last actress that was mentioned by Marty, I mean that ticks every box, doesn't it? I mean, then they'll complain maybe that she isn't trans or isn't hasn't got a limp or something.
I have a problem with her, even though if they were to cast her, right, that the other side will still have an issue with something. It will be something, or she's not, maybe because she's not lesbian or something, or she doesn't follow the right. It'll be something. They always have something because they never.
Well, that's because they've made the show about that, and I've said this before.
No, they've made the show about themselves.
Yeah. But the thing is the BBC, because, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again for those who don't understand where I'm coming from. The problem is not the gender of the Doctor, from my point of view. The problem is the writing and the fact that the BBC are hiding behind political issues and social messaging as critical review repellent. They think that so long as they write shows like Rosa Parks, that nobody is going to give a critical review of a show like that.
Criticism. That's what I've always been saying about this era. They put in all this woke stuff, so if you dare criticize it, they'll come out en masse with the burning torches and
that's
pitchforks.
It. And the side effect of that, which I don't think they perceive, is that it has criminalized the normal interaction of fans who debate and love to talk about it and weigh the value of different shows and say, "Oh, I liked this show. I didn't like that show." That has been criminalized now.
Yeah, othered. Yeah.
So that the well is totally poisoned of their own fandom because fans can't talk to each other without it becoming a heated political argument.
Exactly. That's what happens when you turn it into a political vehicle.
Yeah. Yes.
It only ever becomes about that rather than the stories or what monster of the week it is or the writing or the acting or anything, that used to be fun to talk about. And now it's so dangerous to talk about anything to do with Doctor Who because it has been so overly politicized.
Yeah, it's so politically charged.
Nonsense, that's
so politically charged.
Yeah.
But and the thing is these fans that have waved into the series with Jodie because of the political movement don't realize that the politics that they're attacking the show as past for supposedly engaging in is totally a myth. Verity Lambert started this show, was the very first producer of the show, was a woman, and an Asian man was the very first director. And you have characters like Barbara Wright. Barbara Wright as a character is more feminist than any of the modern companions of Doctor Who.
So true.
You know what I mean? And then they say all this bullshit about excuse my language on your channel.
Oh, fucking go for it, girl.
They say all this bullshit about the male gaze. Let me tell you something. That is so totally out of context. When they look at Zoe wearing skin tight metallic leotard or whatever she was wearing, and they say that's so sexist, they're totally out of context of the fact that it was the sexual revolution. Yep. And when women were dressing in mini skirts and they were dressing in sexy, That was because they had the birth control pill for the first time, and they were sexually liberated the way men used to be, and they weren't afraid of their sexuality, and they were putting it out front for the first time in an empowered way.
No, you can't say breasts anymore. You know, I mean, it's so puritanical now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this new wave of feminism is antithetical, I think, to where it really started from. You know, the sexual liberation and the sexuality.
It's not feminism. It's not feminism.
It's not even feminine.
Because,
that's the problem.
Yes, because they're trying to deconstruct what it means, what they're doing with men. They're trying to change what it means, the definition of what it means to be a woman, everything that's included in that. And Babbitt makes an absolutely terrific point about, you know, back in the day, it was women, you know, they felt empowered. That's what it was. It was nothing got to do with sexism. This was women standing up to sexism.
Well, yeah. That, and they're so blinded by the fact that Zoe's wore a mini skirt, you know, in some shows, that they ignore the fact that she was a brilliant scientist who was often smarter than the doctor and would correct them. You know, when they look at Leela's outfit, they're so blinded by the outfit that they don't realize that here you had a female heroine on a TV series who carried a knife and did all of the action work that the male hero didn't do. I mean, it's so totally out of context. And you have characters like Sarah Jane, who were a very overtly, obviously a feminist character, and told you so the first time you saw her on screen. So the whole male gaze mythos that is retroactively being piled on the show is just nonsense. It doesn't hold up to actual viewing.
No, absolutely. And even if there was an element of let's get the dads watching because, you know, Leela and look, lesbians existed back in the 70s, believe it or not. So, you know, what about their gays? I mean, really? I mean, if you want to look at it in that context, fuck it. You know, let's go there. I just think the whole argument is incredibly redundant, lacks all nuance. It has absolutely no relevance to anything, and it's just like looking.
It's a straw man. It's a straw man argument. It's there just to prop
It's looking for things to be offended about, so you got something to say on Twitter. That's all it's about. Clicks and likes.
It's very weird. It's a very weird thing. But the thing is, okay, so now that that's happened, the next time that, you know, how do you have sex appeal in this show anymore moving forward? How do you know, when the next...
Well, they've removed it.
Yeah, it's a neutered show, which is, in some ways, I appreciate. You know, I don't think the doctor should be sexual.
No, absolutely. But the only way that they're going to do that is to contrive it by trying to... That's the thing they're trying to do now with this Phasmin thing. You know, and they're getting really outraged over this white male character coming in. It's going to ruin their Phasmin thing, and it's just like, look, you know, you can write your fan fiction and ship them all you like, but this is a mainline TV show for a multi-generational audience. It's not there for that purpose. I'm sorry. Speaking as an open gay man, I don't necessarily believe, and I wouldn't want a gay doctor, male or female, because I don't think it's relevant, and I don't think I don't think it's right to put that kind of lifestyle in front of a young audience, because
I just don't think it's the character. And the character is an alien. When a companion falls in love, with a doctor and says, "Do you want to have a snog?" The doctor should say, "You know what? I have more in common with an artichoke biologically than you, so no."
Yeah. Well, that's it.
The
doctor when I grew up was non-sexualized. It was completely platonic.
Yeah.
And that's where, look, when you had Tom Baker with Leela or Sarah Jane, and they were going through a tiny little, air vent or something like that, he would adjust their skirts or not look, go first so they wouldn't look up behind them, that kind of thing. And that was very.
Well, that was my love of the show. It was the only TV series of its type, an adventure show, where the hero did not default into heterosexual wooing of the female co-stars. You actually had people who cared for each other and were engaging in adventures and respected each other and treated each other with caring. And it didn't have to turn into I'm going to kiss you or we're going to break up and blah, 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 blah.
A soap opera.
Yeah. And when that happens, it limits, and that limits the possibilities for female actresses who take on the role, because the industry and the culture don't know how to write for a female character without falling into that. It turns into either Brenda Starr, where it's just like, who am I going to love this week? And that's just not Doctor Who. The Doctor should not be cute and a fashion plate.
Well, they talk a lot about the what's the thing? The Bechdel test, right? Where women can have a conversation without bringing a man into it. And I think that's other than romantically, I think that's really what it means. But the Doctor is the only sort of male character that they would really talk about in any context back in the day, but it wouldn't be in a sexual way. It wasn't in a romantic way. And they could have conversations about what was going on and about science and about things that they were doing and aliens. And, so already Doctor Who long ago was passing that test.
Yeah.
But nowadays, if they want to bring sexuality into it now, then it kind of removes that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it erodes the central core of the alienness of the characters.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
But that's what I think.
100%. 100%. Well said. Well said.
That's it. Look, I mean, these newer fans, no matter what they say, there's their arguments can be countered with facts, but they don't look at facts. They just have one way of thinking. They want this show to go in a certain direction, and let's be honest, Chris Chibnall has actually pandered to them, and look what's happened. So as I say, I don't just blame Chris Chibnall for the downfall of Doctor Who. I also blame those fans who supported it, who pushed this agenda, who are behind all of this agenda. They're responsible also, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves, to be quite honest. To take
I just don't like the attacking
and to flush it down the toilet the way they did. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah. I look at it like this, you know what I mean? And I don't have any animosity towards these fans who have come in, despite how much they attack and are tooth and nail YouTubers just for having opinions. But I don't think they're here for the long haul, because there's always going to be a certain amount of fans who say, oh, now that Matt Smith has regenerated, I'll never watch the show again, or Tom Baker has regenerated, the show is nothing anymore. There's always been that. The problem is right now that the vast majority of those left consuming the show are fans who are that fan, who are only here for this incarnation of the show. And as soon as it does what Doctor Who always successfully does, which is change to survive, they're going to be horrified and angry at it, unless it serves them more of their agenda, And they'll just, these fans will deserve it, because pendulums like this always swing around. And when it's, Russell Brand in leather hot pants traveling around in the TARDIS, going from one planet snogging to the next, they'll have earned it because they've been so nasty to, and I won't like that. I'm not suggesting that show, but, there's always going to be time in era of the show that you're not going to like. There's been times in this show's even classic era that I was just like, oh, this show has really turned into crap. But you know what? Yeah, blink and it'll be over.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, look, right now the show is on life support.
Yeah.
And the next few weeks and months, whoever they choose, showrunner, doctor, it's going to be very, very important, in my opinion. and they've got to get it right. If they don't get it right, it's game over. I'm sorry, but it is, and I hate to say it, but it will be, because you've got fans like Daniel in the chat, and there's a lot of fans like Daniel in the chat that refuse to come back if Chris Chibnall is still here as well. And even with him gone, they're still going to be hesitant because of what's happened. Right now, people are just disillusioned, and it's sad to see that it's fallen. So a 50.
Well, I think the problem is the BBC. I mean, you know, they talk a big game about systemic problems here, there, and everywhere. But I mean, unfortunately, the BBC has been a victim of systemic problems because they've allowed very extreme views from the extreme left into positions of power and have marched through that institution. And unfortunately, you now have a culture of that kind of fear. I mean, we've heard stories from your favorite person, Gina Carano, about what goes on in Disney, where they tried to put her in front of a struggle session on Zoom or whatever it was, for, you know, with 40 other people telling her how bad she is and how she should change. She refused to do it, obviously, but I can imagine it's pretty much the same thing at the BBC. And I think that is, you know, ruled by fear, a culture ruled by fear. And it's also a situation where you've allowed this to run for years unchallenged. And that culture can't change overnight. Chibnall is a symptom, right? That's a symptom of it. He's not.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
So that you need to overcome first, and that's going to take a long time. And unfortunately for the BBC, they don't have a long time.
See, I don't think the BBC is going to survive in its current incarnation with license payers long enough to grow out of the place that it is in right now. Because right now, any idea that serves the political the virtue signaling and the political messaging gets greenlit, whether they can live up to it or not. Perfect example of this is Bradley Walsh's character. When Bradley Walsh signed on to this character, you know, the pitch meeting was, you're a cancer survivor who just lost your wife, and you're going to be in the Tardis, and you're going to be dealing with not only grieving your wife, but trying to find your way into life now and worrying about the cancer coming back. And we saw the way that they dealt with that. He voiced his concern about his cancer returning.
Was dismissed.
And was totally dismissed, and that was the last you heard about it. Now, let me tell you what. This is where, okay, everybody sit back, because here's where I get a little pissy. I work with cancer patients all the time. You know, my spouse is a cancer survivor, had a bone marrow transplant that saved his life. And I'm going to tell you right now, there are children in the audience who are watching this show who are fighting cancer. There are children in the audience who lost their mother, their father, their sibling to cancer. And when they heard that, their eyes and ears perked up, and they were looking for this show to deliver something to them that they didn't. And that is morally bankrupt to take on as a show.
It was utterly disgusting. I was so angry at that. I think I was that close to throwing something at my TV screen. I was so incensed.
Can you imagine being Bradley Walsh? Can you imagine being Bradley Walsh in that situation?
If I were him, I would have refused to do that. And if I were Whittaker, I would have refused to deliver that line. That was the fact that and it wasn't the fact that she delivered that line. It's the way it was delivered as well. It was for comic effect.
And see, that was the thing. It's these ideas that get greenlit because they're virtue signaling. Okay, well, let's serve the autistic audience who have social difficulties relating. So let's serve that. But you already have got this thing that you've greenlit over here about a cancer survivor, and you don't know how to write those two things. So you just kind of, in the end, you fluff it together and you mash it up, and who gives a crap?
It was a disgrace, an utter disgrace. And the fact that the BBC, and what made it worse, actually, was the BBC's response to the complaints, where they upheld by a copy and pasted response, which they've used before other complaints. Like half of it is completely copy and pasted. and it was in defense of this drivel. And as you said, there were kids, parents, all sorts of family members, friends of people who've died. I mean, we've all been touched by this horrible disease, and for them to do this so that they made people feel comfortable about not knowing how to respond. I'm sorry, you've got the hero of the show, the alleged hero, not knowing how to deal with that mortality.
I'll tell you what, that was a habitual problem with the writing in this. And you can't even talk about this without people attacking you because of the critical review repellent of social issues. But I'll say it again. It is so totally, and again, it's these greenlit PC issues that get fluffed together and greenlit and they don't know how to deal with. There's no reason in God's green earth that the master should have been sent to Auschwitz for being Asian. How the hell is that politically correct on any level? But again, it's because they want publicity stunts and things get greenlit.
Well, of course, don't forget as well that Mr. Hilter had very good relations with not India, I think, but in certain Asian countries where they saw them as Aryan. Actually, that was completely.
But what I'm saying is, it's a habitual problem. It was habitual problem in the writing. Having Jodie Whittaker sit on the bus a foot away from Rosa Parks and say nothing as racism happened in front of her, like the poster child for white privilege. Like, oh no, I can't possibly. After she saved planets last week, she can't even speak up.
And not only that, she also becomes the white savior as well, because it's because of this strong white woman that Rosa Parks did what she did, and that, for me, I can't understand how they don't find that offensive. I mean,
it's condescending, and see, I think that the audience who aren't looking at it and objectively looking at it and from that angle, who are just like, oh, isn't this great? And here we're having these political issues.
Well, they had to invent awards for it, that. God,
my best thing, isn't it great to highlighting the whole Rosa Parks thing? The Arn that did it with such respect. No, you didn't. No,
yeah, I wish it had been written in a way that was better. But this is another thing. Again, I go back to the original concept of the series. It was very early on when they got rid of historicals, and they got rid of historicals because they said there was I forget what the window was. There was a specific window of time where they said you can't do historicals that are this close to contemporary times because it loses its ability to speak to the depth of the issue if it's more contemporary. And that goes way back to Patrick Troughton's time period, where they installed those rules. And as soon as they did that, historicals kind of started to go away because they realized they could make stronger political issues with stories like the Daleks and the enemy of the world than they could by visiting Tombstone in or whatever, or World War II in the war games. That's why the war games was set in a fictional zone rather than it actually being World War II, because it was just too close. You end up politicizing it so much that people can't watch the story and absorb the bigger message.
Absolutely. No, I mean, you've raised some absolutely stonking points, and I can't disagree with any of that at all, because you've managed to verbalize pretty much how I felt about these things, and it's very difficult with the character limit on Twitter, to get it across. Right, yeah. So people react to what you can put out there, which may be a bit more succinct than I'd like. But I just wish they could understand how they're being missold, misrepresented certain things in order to validate their preconceived prejudgments
It's tokenism. It's
tokenism.
absolutely tokenism.
Absolutely.
And the Black Doctor, I'll tell you what, I looked forward since the 80s to the idea of because Lenny Henry did a comic relief where he was a Black
I remember.
Doctor.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that'll be awesome. I can't wait until there's the era of the first Black Doctor. I can't wait to see what that'll look like. So, I've been waiting since the 80s for the Black Doctor to have an era. And instead, what you got is this cameo tokenism that they did with the first Black Doctor. And it's like they want credit for doing something that they didn't really do.
And not only that, they completely threw out the entire lore of the show, stretching back 57 years, just so they could make the Doctor originally a little black girl. I mean, that is the ultimate virtue signal.
Yes.
I mean, that is so depraved in how it and no lies, didn't speak a word, just fell off the cliff nonchalantly.
Well, wait, it gets even worse than that. If you dissect even the immediate history of the show with Matt Smith's regeneration and him needing to be given a whole new set of regenerations. But then you have the whole concept of River Song being the daughter of what's the companion's name? The redhead. I can't think of her name. Amy Pond. All right. So if it wasn't the vortex and the Doctor's energy, the Doctor is the source of regeneration, then as you look back at that story, in order for it to make any sense, you've got to accept that the Doctor was covertly having a sexual relationship with Amy Pond, who then had a baby who was River Song, who the Doctor then married his own daughter. It gets morally depraved the more you look at it. And I'm not talking about classic Who, I'm talking about modern New Who.
Right.
So
not that long ago either.
Right. So here's the thing. All of this, again, I'm going to say this as a tonic for those that are feeling acid reflux over the Timeless Child. That whole thing is going to go the way of the half human.
I hope so.
I guarantee it. And if for no other reason, then it screws up the numerological ordering of the Doctor with which the BBC markets everything Doctor Who. They need for the fourth Doctor to be the fourth Doctor in order to sell Tom Baker's crap in toys and merch. And they need you to know which Doctor is who numerologically in order to market and sell their product.
Yeah, Moffat screwed the pooch on that one with the War Doctor thing, which,
right. But you can get away with it once.
And RTD with the fake regeneration as well.
You can get away with that once. But as soon as you negate the first Doctor being the first Doctor, it totally screws up the merchandising of the entire product. Yeah,
well, of course, they keep retconning the retcon by going, this, wasn't called the Doctor until William Hartnell. And
I know.
It's that has not actually been confirmed in the show, so it's just these people who defend this nonsense.
My prediction, let me get out my crystal ball. My prediction on this one is that in order to get out of the sewer that they've made for themselves, they're going to have the Joe Martin Doctor be either the next Doctor or an intermediate step between the two Doctors, between Jodie and whoever's next, that's memory was erased. Jodie's Doctor, or the Joe Martin Doctor, the first female Black Doctor, will immediately follow Jodie and then immediately be regenerated, and we won't ever get to see the Black Doctor's era. It'll be skipped over.
That would just make it even worse and more glaringly awkward.
I know, but every time that they have an opportunity to stumble over their feet and make something glaringly awkward, I point you towards River Song being the Doctor's daughter, who I
need to get that out of my head. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Stop it! Oh my god.
Anyway.
Listen, we've kind of ran out of time. I'd love to talk to you all night, but you know what? Cheryl's out there watching It's a Sin, and she's in bed.
Tons of love, guys. Really, tons of love to you guys. And don't let fans who are haters and hate debate and hate the joy of the show and conversation and critique bring you down. Don't let them bring you down, man.
And listen, you're more than welcome on again anytime. You know that, don't you? So don't be a stranger.
I won't be. I love you guys.
Love you too. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Right, Lee.
Fantastic.
Listen, thanks for looking after everything tonight. Absolutely fantastic as usual. And everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us. I really do appreciate all the comments as well. Thanks to all my moderators as usual, keeping this chat safe for everybody. Yeah, I love the Baba. I love Baba. The more I want them to come on. I want them to come on again, because every time he does come on, he makes some great points, and we do have a bit of a laugh as well, actually. So I want to stay a little bit longer, but I have to make sure the missus is all right, because literally watch It's a Sin. She came out to me with tears, literally in bits.
I still need to watch it. I'm such a bad gay. I really need to watch it.
Well, here, if Cheryl's reactions aren't to go by, I think you're going to need your Kleenex man-sized tissues. Oh, you're not
careful. That could imply other things as well.
Sorry, I don't think you're allowed to say man-sized tissues anymore. But yeah, you need
non-gender specific.
There she is. You'll need to get your Kleenex out, because it certainly does seem like she's still in bits. She's out here now crying in my face. What's wrong with you? We're still live. I'm about to finish now.
Oh my gosh, It's a Sin is so good.
Oh. Yeah, well, there you go. So you'll have to.
He even put Daleks in it.
I know.
That's like my favorite. Oh my god, my heart's ripped out.
Right. Well, here, listen. I'll probably have to take a look at that myself on my own. I mean, if she's that bad, because I get emotional too when I watch stuff. If she's that bad, then
a rabbi even said when he watched it, he said if you didn't cry, you're not human.
Right. Well, then there you go.
Such is the power of RTD, you know.
Yeah.
And Garbage says, "I am a man-sized man." Is that illegal? Probably yes.
Yeah. You're not allowed to say they've changed Kleenex.
Here when I was down in the app, it doesn't say man-sized anymore. It says extra large.
Does it? Okay. Well, it was that man size, right? Feck them, right? They hate men. Right, Lee, anything else you want to add before we leave tonight anyway, mate?
No. I did speak to Az. I did speak to Az about releasing the song I did on iTunes or something. So we'll see. I might do it as do some of it for charity or something. So we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea. Well, hopefully he gets back to you, and he has anyway. I've seen that he has been, and he thinks the song is great. I have to agree. It's epic. Well done. So yeah, it'd be nice to see if the song, if it is used and it goes to charity, because that'll be absolutely wonderful. Especially in the times that we're in now. You know, both you could pick as our charities, and you know, and I think it will do well, because I mean, lots of people have listened to it. So why not capitalize on it and try get some money?
Try flogging it. It's had 639 plays. That's
there you go.
In like 2 days. So
there you go. So I think you're on to a winner.
Well, hopefully people seem to like it. It's a bit of a laugh.
That's it.
Bit of a laugh, innit?
A bit of a laugh, right?
Bit of a laugh.
We're going to leave it there, folks. This has been the Tardis Talks. I hope you have enjoyed it. We're back here again on Friday for the Tardis Talks. Tomorrow we're on the Irish Geek for Happy Gilmore. And our panel, I can announce the panel now, because I know who's going to be on the panel. It's going to be Lee and Alpha Omega. So I look forward to that. That's over on the Irish Geek. As I said, we're going to continue the movie streams, and as long as Lee is available, he'll be my co-host. Obviously, he has been busy doing stuff for Rabbi and stuff, and that comes first before anything else, because you know it's something that Lee loves doing, and also, you know, it's for Rabbi, so he's pretty busy. It is doing his head in. I had a bit of a chat.
It's technically challenging.
Yeah, he needs to have a good rest though as well, Lee.
I really do.
So after this stream, I think you should get yourself something to eat and get yourself to bed and get.
I think that's a good idea.
Seriously, get some sleep. Wake up tomorrow fresh, and then you might think of something that'll fix whatever is going on. You never know.
It's trying to get all these different ideas and making it fit together. You know, that's it. Yeah.
And you will. You will.
And technical problems.
No better man to do it. No better man to do it. But listen, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate everything that you've done for me, especially behind the scenes. Love you for it. Always will. Me and Cheryl, as I said, you know.
Loyalty costs nothing. That's it.
We will. We're always here for you, but we know you're here for us as well. But I want to just say thank you, because people don't realize what you do actually do behind the scenes. And you know, you're like a little terrier. Let's just
see, I have my uses.
Well, you have more than uses. You're a decent human being, man. A very good, kind-hearted person, and people should know that about you, because, you know, if you were to listen to the Twitter ratty, as they call them, you think you were the most evil person in the world, but you're not. You're one of the nicest, kindest people that I've met, and I am honoured to call you a friend. So listen, thanks for everything that you do. As I said, I don't want to blow too much smoke up your ass. You know, I want you to
more. Come on.
You know, but actually, I won't blow smoke up your ass, because you probably have shit in the bag somewhere.
Shit in the bag. I have shit in the bag, ready to be boiled. Yes.
But to me, moderators as well, I just want to thank you for all the work that you do as well. Because, you know, it's not just me. There's a lot of moving parts. And if the channel, if it ever does get bigger, don't worry, I will look after you all eventually, you know, because that's the way I am. Right now, we're not in that position to do so. But I will, and you know I will. But I love you all, and thank you. And you guys in the chat as well, that come here every night to listen to a mad Irish man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I don't know why you are still here, because if I was listening to me every night, I'd probably say, oh, for fuck's sake. That's what I said. Yeah, but you don't. You come here every night and you listen to me, and I really do appreciate that. So as Thinking says, great stream as ever. Was listening along whilst cooking, etc. Take care and stay safe. Renee,
we had it all, cooking, dinner, washing dishes.
That's it. We had Renee in the chat as well earlier on. We haven't seen Renee in a while, but Renee was also in the chat as well. So I want to say a special hello to Renee. It was nice to see you pop in. And I think we had Widhams as well. Widham 7 popped in as well. And Sadako 24. We haven't seen you guys in a while either. So it was nice to see you guys pop in. And to all our regulars that are here every night with me, thank you. And I'm going to stop thanking you all, because I don't want to give you all big egos and big heads, because the only one that should have a big ego and a big head here is me. And that's the way it goes. Right. I shall talk to you very soon. So we'll do the trailers the usual. Why not? So on Saturday we have to start in order. So Friday, so that's Friday. We're back with the Tardis Zone Talks. Wednesday is building up nice and slow. Friday night is for the Tardis Zone Talks is the most successful night actually for that show. But Wednesdays is starting to build up quite nicely. So join us Friday for that. And then on Saturday, we have this Amazeballs. So that's Saturday. Every Saturday we have Classic Q. It's Time Lash. Yes.
Woohoo!
Sorry that I'm bleeding the test, but that's the one that we're doing. We'll get it out of the way. I suppose we did do the two doctors as well. Not many people like that, so we got that out of the way. But Time Lash on Saturday, and then on Sunday. And that's every Sunday. And we are back with Voyage of the Damned. And then the week after that, we start our season 4 officially with Partners in Crime. And that's it tonight, folks. I want to wish you all well and enjoy the rest of your week. And we will see you tomorrow on the Irish Geek, of course. And don't forget, myself and Cheryl will also be on the Irish Geek in between all that, doing some shows for you as well. And I might throw in another reaction trailer to some Americans slagging off Irish people for a laugh. Why not? We'll do that as well sometime during the week. So that's it. I will leave you with the channel trailer. Good night, folks. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.